Hello, business building warrior. Welcome to Silent Sales Machine Radio. I'm your host today, Jim. It's just you and me hanging out. Thanks for being the best part of this podcast, by the way. If you're new around here, you've made a great decision to check out a few episodes of our show. This podcast was voted the #1 podcast for Amazon sellers in the Amazon seller universe. Pretty cool honor. And it's because, I think this is my theory, it's because we interview successful sellers. The vast majority of our shows are interviews with successful students who listen to this show and have deployed the ideas we teach here and built beautiful businesses. They share the good, the bad, the ugly, the victories, the challenges, the tools they're using, the strategies they're using. And the one thing they all have in common is they are students of the Proven Amazon course. That's right. This is the podcast, the official podcast of the best seller training in the world, the Proven Amazon course. It's a library of content that's constantly improving. And for just a few dollars a month, you get all of it. And if you're brand new, it'll hold your hand and walk you right through the process of getting ramped up. No matter where you live in the world, we will walk you through the process. We've got everything from one-on-one coaches all the way down to phenomenal free content like what you're hearing right now. And the Proven Amazon course is kind of the glue that holds it all together, because that's where you can go to get right what you need, right when you need it on your Amazon selling journey. We teach all the different selling models. But with that as an introduction, thanks for being a part of our show today. We are going to get into the topic right away. And that is the only 3 things you need to get right in order to succeed as a seller on Amazon. Now, I'll get into those 3 things in just a moment, but I want to remind you, if you've never heard this before, this will be very powerful. If you've been around a while, it never hurts to remind ourselves that Amazon is arguably, in my opinion, almost certainly the greatest business opportunity of our lifetimes, possibly ever. Why do I say that? Right now, we are very fortunate to live in a time where, here's a few facts for you. E-commerce is still a very small part of retail spending in the United States, especially if you didn't know that. Far less than 20% of spending done by consumers is online. If you don't believe me, go look it up. Some people think that 50% of all spending is online or 70% of all spending is online. It's just not. E-commerce is in its infancy. Okay, so now we've got that fact straight. What else do we need to know? What's the big boy opportunity in e-commerce? Well, that's Amazon, of course. They get half of all the action, approximately. So any given day, everybody shopping online, half that money is spent on one website. And the vast majority of those products are being sold by small sellers, helping fill the shelves of hundreds of warehouses spread out across the United States, with millions of products unstocked or understocked. Well, the only third fact you need to know to begin to paint a picture is e-commerce is the fastest growing economic sector in the United States. It's blowing everything else out of the water. It's growing so fast. So that tiny little less than 20% piece of the pie that e-commerce has now will soon be 25, 30, 35, 45, on and on and on. The future is very bright for e-commerce. There's one website that dominates the game, and it's wide open to small sellers like you and me to jump in and build whatever they'd like to build, assuming they get the 3 things right that I'm about to present to you, because you don't have to look far to find people who are complaining about the e-commerce opportunities, specifically complaining about Amazon. And I would say that they didn't get one of these 3 things right. That's why it didn't work out for them. Now, keep in mind, I've been in e-commerce for way over 2 decades at this point. That's the only income my family and I have enjoyed, and we've done very well. But for over 20 years, homeschooling 5 kids, 3 of them are married now. We got grandkids. It's a beautiful season of life for us. But I say that to say I've been hearing people say bad things and negative things about e-commerce and how to make money online for over 2 decades. I remember when eBay made its first few changes and people ran screaming for the hills saying the game was over, it's saturated, it'll never work. And millions of millionaires later, here we are. I don't know how many millionaires have come out of eBay. or Amazon, but I know there's millions of millionaires that have resulted from e-commerce. Here we are, the numbers continue to grow, the opportunity continues to expand. So if you're looking for negative news and ways to fail, you don't have to look very far. It's easy to find ways to blow things up. I mean, just to sidetrack for just a moment, I learned this from my mentor. If we were asked, and I give you the challenge right now, get out 2 sheets of paper. On 1 sheet of paper, you're going to write down as fast as you can, as many ideas as you can on how to ruin your life, how to destroy something. It's so easy, right? I mean, we could brainstorm instantly, any of us, 10, 20, 50 ways to just completely really derail your life and ruin it. Make sure that tomorrow is way worse than any other day you've ever had. There's many, many ways we could do that. We can brainstorm easily, right? It's human nature. We drift into the negative very easily. We see through that lens by default. But what if I were to say on the other sheet of paper, start writing out ways that you could dramatically improve your life starting right now? Well, that's a little harder to do because you have to face the reality that you're not doing those things. And there's probably an excuse why you're not doing them. So would it really work? I don't know. So it's very easy to drift into negative. That is the default nature. So when you're investigating an opportunity, it's very easy to find the people who are saying, yeah, I tried that. Yeah, I did that. Didn't work. Did Amazon, didn't work. Or I tried it for a while, then Amazon's just mean and cruel and heartless, and they did this and they did that, and it's over now. Well, my premise remains that if you get these 3 things right that I'm about to share with you, if you do these 3 things alone the right way, your odds of success over a sustained long period of time and the doors of opportunity that will begin to open up to you as a result of these 3 things that you got right is going to be such an incredible positive adventure that you absolutely must consider doing this. If you've got a few dollars, I'm talking like $500 to $1,000 that you can put into a business, and you've got a few hours, I'm talking 10, 15 hours a week, approximately as a minimum, and you've got some grit, some determination to get through a bit of a learning curve that'll take you a few weeks, the future's never been brighter. There's no opportunity that I can find that is more of a layup, to use a basketball term. It's right there for you if you can block out the noise. And you got to get these 3 things right. And I'm going to go into what those 3 things are. But that's what we do around here. And you don't have to just believe me. You can scroll back in our podcast and hear hundreds of people who have gotten these 3 things right. And as a result, they've built a beautiful business. I even did a bit of an audit of these 3, just mentally thinking back through some of the people who have struggled or failed or did okay for a while and then weren't doing okay, or they put in a bunch of time, money, and effort and it didn't work out. And in all cases, Amazon sellers specifically, in all cases, people that it didn't work out for, they didn't get one of these 3 things right. Had they, I would say, assuming they put in the effort and the energy and the time required, they would have succeeded. That's my premise. Because again, we're talking about arguably the greatest e-commerce opportunity in the world, arguably one of the greatest business opportunities in the world, certainly in our lifetimes. So why does it go wrong for some people? I think it's one of these 3 things that they got wrong. So what are the 3 things? You're dying to hear the 3 things at this point, right? I've talked about them so much. Well, let me just give you the list real quick. It's probably in the show notes as well. I'm not trying to make it a mystery. I just want to make sure you understand the significance and the thought process behind these 3 things. The 3 are getting the right tools and training. The right tools and training. That's a big deal. Becoming a part of the right community is the next one. Tools training. Next one is community. Who are you hanging out with? It's a big one. Spend some time on it. And third is the right model, the right business model. There are 50 different ways you can approach making money on Amazon. It's probably more than that if we brainstorm. So many different ways. Where do you start? What's the right starting point? And even within that proper model, there's people doing it the wrong way. So we're going to talk about that a little bit today as well. So that's what's on the agenda, making sure you get the right tools and training, making sure you're part of the right community or communities. There's many good communities out there. And making sure that you're using the right model. Now, let me start there with number 3, the right model. What do I mean by the right model? I'll give you an example of the wrong place to start. And if you go to YouTube right now and type in a search phrase, something like, I want to learn how to make money on Amazon. Help me make money on Amazon. I want to build an Amazon business. 90% of the content you're going to see is going to be people selling you a course that costs between $3,000 to $5,000, convincing you that you could be the next millionaire by launching your own private label product. That's the wrong model. Our evidence, after having assisted thousands of students in building a beautiful business on Amazon, our evidence tells us loud and clear that about 95% of the people who start their Amazon journey by attempting to launch their own new product or their own new brand or to white label a product and bring it to Amazon and set up a new product on the platform, 95% of them fail or fail miserably to the tune of tens of thousands of dollars in a garage full of inventory that they just can't sell or give away because they've already given away to all their friends and family for Christmas the last 3 years and they still have 5,000 units. That story happens all day, every day. Why? Because the gurus and the experts and the videos with the pile of cash and the fancy editing and the handful of testimonials with attractive people and first names only saying how well they did. Now, am I saying no one ever does well with that? Absolutely not. We've got loads of people in our community that have launched very successful private label brands, but the vast majority of them didn't start there. Now, sure, about 5% of the people who do go down that path and start off trying to launch a private label brand, they got the time, the money, the resources, the grit, the effort, the energy, the luck, the randomness of it happens to work in their favor. And yeah, they do well. But I would say that's a mistake to start there. For most people, they don't have $10, $20, $30,000 laying around that they could just say, maybe it'll work. 5% chance, good enough for me, without the proper tools and training. Now, we are capable and on our team of helping people pick the right product, launch in the right direction, and launch a brand. We've got the team now. But if you start there and go buy an expensive course and think that that's going to do it for you, man, that's a bad idea. It's a terrible starting point. So what is the right starting point? Of all the different places you could start, we have people who start off trying to write KDP books. We have people trying to scan barcodes in the clearance aisles of grocery stores. We have people trying to be an affiliate and drive traffic to Amazon and get paid a few pennies per sale for the traffic there. There's so many different models. Well, what is the right model? The right model, based on our experience, again, we've coached nearly 10,000 people in e-commerce over the past 20 plus years. We're the most established, longest running e-commerce coaching company in the world. Under my name, the entire 20 plus years, Jim Cockrum Coaching. Great reputation, loads of successful students. The past 14, 15 years, we've been talking about one thing for our coaching students who are ready to work. It's this model. It's helping fill the underserved shelf space in Amazon's massive 200 warehouse network. I'm talking about selling everyday, common, easily sourced items where people are willing and eager to pay more than they'd have to pay if they were willing to get in their car and drive to, say, Walmart or Kroger or whatever other retailer in the US. They're willing to pay more for the convenience. And there's a lot of those items that are ridiculously understocked, if not entirely unstocked, in Amazon's massive warehouse network. That's the model we teach as the introductory model. We don't want you scanning barcodes and waiting for sales and discounts. You can make a little money doing those things. That's great. Some people get excited about selling used books and scanning a bunch of book titles and looking. I call those hamster wheel models or treadmill models where, yes, if you put in a whole bunch of hustle and hit yard sales, you can make a little money selling on eBay. If you hustle, you can sell some stuff on Facebook Marketplace. Those models cap out at a few $1,000s a month net profit with a lot of hustle. And that's great. And some people are happy there. Some people do those models and get burnt out after a while and say, yeah, Amazon's a grind. It's not worth it reselling on Amazon. It's just a grind. All the stuff you got to do to make a success. They're doing the wrong model. It's that simple. They're not doing the model I'm talking about. It looks and smells kind of like the model that we talk about and teach here, but it's not the same model. The model I'm talking about looks and feels something like this. If you go back and listen to the episodes we've had with my good friend Kang, right? Episode 754 was the episode that I've long considered my favorite episode of our 1,000+ episodes, where he really opens up his heart on not only his personal story, but his unique approach to doing Amazon that is now, since then, that we're way past 1,000 episodes, it's caught fire, and hundreds of people in our community are using this new model. And the model looks more like this. This is an Amazon reselling model. You go find dozens, hundreds, or thousands of viable ASINs, viable products on Amazon that you're eligible to sell currently. Now, whether it's profitable for you to do so right now or not, that's kind of irrelevant. You just go find viable ASINs and you load them into software. I'll tell you about that software in a minute when we get into the tools and training, okay? But right now we're talking about having the right model. So the right model is you just go find dozens, hundreds, and eventually thousands or tens of thousands. Kang has approximately 100,000 ASINs that he's tracking of the millions and millions. There's 1.4 billion ASINs on Amazon. It would take us 32 years, just the US site alone, 32 years to look at all of them for a second each. That list is growing constantly. So the model is you get a whole bunch of those that you are allowed to sell, and you put them into a piece of software. And that software tells you which ones of them makes the most sense for you to get into at any given time. And so you buy some of them. That's the model. That's the simple model we're talking about. So if people are talking about other models of selling on Amazon as a new seller, especially, and they're trying to convince you that, oh, all you got to do is go buy liquidation pallets. You know, that's the way to make money. Well, no, that'll get you banned and suspended. I mean, literally, just today on our Facebook group, we had someone pop in and say, hey, I've been doing this Amazon thing for a while. It's working out great. Love the community. I just bought something from Goodwill here a few weeks ago, and I threw it on Amazon and it sold. But now Amazon's asking me for proof of authenticity, and I don't know what to do. They're saying that I put my account at risk. Can someone help me? I slapped my forehead, which happens multiple times per day in our Facebook group, thinking, here's another student who, had they just paid attention to the message of this simple podcast episode, there's 3 things you got to get right. You got to get the right model, the right community, the right tools and training. Well, they skipped a couple of those. They show up after there's a fire. It's kind of like you come home from work one day and your house is on fire and you think to yourself, wow. I mean, assuming, no one's there, everyone's safe, right? Your stuff's just burning and you think, wow, you know what? I think I'm going to go buy some home insurance and insure this thing for fire coverage, because I forgot to do that. Too late. Too late. The time to buy insurance is before the house is on fire. The time to get training and make sure you're doing it the right way is before you start buying inventory and singing it to Amazon, because anybody who's been through our training knows you only source from authorized sources. Now, this is just one minor lesson, one minor example of the cost of ignoring the 3 basic things you have to get right. But one of those things you have to get right is to understand the rules. We teach you this better than anyone, I would argue, because there's a lot of people out there teaching the wrong approach. In our community, if you come to us and say, hey, I just bought a product from source X, am I going to be okay selling it on Amazon? We'll say, well, there's one simple thing you have to do before you send that in to sell on Amazon. And that is ask the brand that you're selling, send them an email, call their corporate headquarters, check in with them, go to their website. Maybe they have a list of authorized sellers. You ask them, is this company, Source X, that I just bought from, are they allowed to sell your products? Are they an authorized distributor or retailer or wholesaler or website for your products? Are they legit? In other words, are they part of your authorized channel? It's an easy question. You're not asking permission to sell the product. You're just asking, are they authorized to sell the product or not? And newsflash, every Kroger, every Walmart, every Costco, every major retailer in the United States, that you recognize, every store that's, big chains that put stuff on their shelves, They're all authorized to sell all the products they sell. The only exceptions would be stores that sometimes sell liquidations. They sometimes sell shelf pulls and returns from other outlets. They may or may not be authorized to sell the brands they sell. If they're not authorized to sell a brand they sell, don't buy that brand at that store and try to sell it on Amazon. So, do you think Goodwill, the donation center, is authorized to sell all the brands that it sells, buy all the brands? No, of course not. Someone could easily get on Temu, buy a lot of counterfeit Nike products, for example, give them to a Goodwill because they can't sell them. And there you go, marching into Goodwill. You buy these Nikes, you throw them on Amazon because they look brand new. This is great. Amazon says, hey, we're going to need to see the receipt for these Nikes that you're trying to sell on our site. Could you show us where you bought these from? Oh, I bought them at Goodwill. And your account's banned. So what does that seller do? They rush to the internet and say, I gave a receipt for my product and Amazon banned me. They're evil and cruel. No, it's not Amazon being evil and cruel. It's Amazon saying you have no way of proving to us that your product isn't counterfeit. Therefore, we're going to assume that it might be. Therefore, you're ignoring our policies. Do you see how simple this is? It took me a couple minutes to explain it, but if you're sourcing off retail store shelves at Walmart or Kroger, you're good to go. Hey, pardon the interruption. We'll get back into the episode in just a moment, but I got to tell you about today's sponsor. I'm talking about Cindy Smith with eCommerce Accounting LLC. She's been in our community a long time. She's already helped thousands of sellers, listeners to this show. I'm talking about Jimmy Smith's mom, Cindy Smith. If you go to silentjim.com/ask Cindy, you can get all the details on her accounting services, everything from bookkeeping to income tax preparation and tax planning as well. She's really good at what she does. Like I said, she's helped so many students in our community. She created the content inside the Proven Amazon course that helps you do it yourself, for those of you who are adventurous. But if you're struggling with your accounting, with your bookkeeping and record keeping, you can't find a good local accountant, trust who we trust around here, Cindy Smith at silentjim.com/ask Cindy, Cindy. The link's in the show notes as well. Let's get back to the episode. But if you're sourcing off retail store shelves at Walmart or Kroger, you're good to go. Off their websites, assuming like you're on walmart.com, only buy from Walmart. Don't buy from third-party sellers because you don't know if that third-party seller is legit or not. Amazon needs to know that they're not selling counterfeit products to their customers. How can they know that? By making sure that the sources you're using are authorized by the brands you're selling to sell the stuff they sell. It's that simple. But inevitably, people ignore these simple rules. It's actually a very helpful post. I'm not going to go real deep down this rabbit hole of using the right model and some of the mistakes we see people making. There's actually a great post in our Facebook group. It's completely free. Go to this link sometime. It'll take you right into our Facebook group. You'll have to join the group. There's 82,000 of us. It's completely free. It's silentjim.com/mistakes. silentjim.com/mistakes. It's about 15, 18 or so of the mistakes we see people make if they say to themselves, I don't want to pay anyone how to learn to sell on Amazon. I'm going to figure it out myself. Well, these are the mistakes you're going to make. Odds are you're going to make 1, 2, 3, 5, 10 of those mistakes. It's going to be very costly. Far more costly, by the way, than paying a few dollars per month to get some great training. But some people are stubborn like that. So this is just a little warning. If you refuse to pay anyone, any money, any time to learn how to build a great business, okay, well, try not to make these mistakes, please. silentjim.com/mistakes. One of those mistakes is sourcing from unauthorized sources. Just because a website says they're a wholesaler doesn't mean they're an authorized wholesaler for the brands they sell. How can you know? Ask the brand. The brand will tell you every time. Is this an authorized source for your product? If the brand says, no, we've never heard of them, don't buy your products from that source. It's that simple. It really is that simple. You're 100% safe 100% of the time if you buy from authorized sources, because Amazon will ask the brand will say, yep, that's an authorized source. Your receipt, your invoice is approved. It's that easy, but some people make it so complicated. So using the right model, Why do I say reselling is the right model? Filling the underserved shelf space at the hundreds of warehouses. Why that model is compares to all the others? Well, simply because the scope, the scale, how expansive it is, how wide open it is. Imagine a blue ocean that's getting deeper and wider and growing every day with just not enough people there to serve this blue ocean of demand. Succinctly said, right now, today, on Amazon, this 24-hour window of time, there's going to be millions of shoppers hop on Amazon looking for a product that they want. And they're going to see the options available to them on the product they want. In some cases, very popular products. And the product is there, it's available. But they look at the delivery times, they look at the date delivery times, the options that are available to them, and they're just not satisfied with what they're seeing. It's like, yeah, they've got that toy that I need for the birthday party on Saturday, but it's saying it's going to take 2, maybe 3 days to get here. That's not fast enough. I need it quicker than that. The birthday party's 2 days from now. If it's coming right as the birthday party's starting, I think I'm just going to go to Walmart instead. Millions of shoppers get in their car and drive to the store instead of grabbing something on Amazon every day because there's just not enough inventory in Amazon's 200 warehouse network. Let's take that same shopper again. They hop on looking for that toy that they need a couple days from now, and there's a 4-hour delivery option, meaning a unit of that product is sitting in the warehouse in or very near the zip code where that person lives. Now they've got a fast delivery option. It's not coming from 1,500 miles away and taking 2 days. It's coming, it'll be in a car half an hour from now and on their front porch an hour and a half from now, or even 20 minutes from now in some cases, meaning the item is located in a warehouse near the shopper. Well, they'll take that option. Quite often they will, and they'll be willing to pay way more for it. We call those understocked or underserved ASINs, and we show you how to find millions of them. There are literally millions of fast-selling, everyday, common, popular items that are selling very, very well on Amazon, but they're not stocked adequately to give customers who want speed the fast delivery options that they want. Stated differently, today, millions of shoppers on Amazon will pay far less than they were willing to pay for items that will arrive far later than they wish they could have them. Or they'll just skip Amazon altogether and get in their car and drive to Walmart because they don't want to wait. Millions of people are doing that all day, every day, because there's not enough resellers filling Amazon's shelves with enough product. We demonstrate this as a fact all day, every day with numerous examples. One of the training modules inside the Proven Amazon course, which is our flagship training library, provenamazoncourse.com. One of the modules in there is my own account showing you 200 examples of products that we sold for way higher price than everyone else, simply because we recognized it as an underserved product, meaning there's not enough sellers selling this product. So we met the needs of the shoppers who wanted speed. That's one of many strategies for filling the underserved shelf space in Amazon's massive warehouse network, but that just demonstrates the proper model. If you want to talk to us about deploying this model, about getting a database full of viable products and having a software tool tell you exactly what to sell, what makes the most sense to sell, you can give us a call. You can go to silentjimdotcom/book a call. There's a number you can text us, you can call us, you can get on our calendar with a Zoom appointment, or you can just send us a message. We'd love to have a conversation with you and help you map out a plan for deploying this model. It doesn't matter where you live in the world. Let me talk just a little bit now about the tools and the training to transition from the proper model into tools and training. I just told you how to get a hold of us. Tools and training. What do I mean by that? Well, there are so many software tools out there. There's so many training options out there. What I encourage you to look for is proof, evidence, community. One of my favorite things about this podcast is we can say, and no one else in the industry, to my knowledge, can say this. We've got hundreds of interviews with very real people who have deployed our tools and training and went on to succeed. Does that mean everyone who uses our tools and training succeeds? No. Life gets in the way. Some people lose interest. Some people would rather play with Netflix and video games, or whatever it is that they do in the evenings versus spending some time growing a real business. Some people invest in stuff they never intend to use. But the people who deploy the tools and training that we have in this community and stick with it and get great advice and plug in to the ideas and concepts we teach consistently build beautiful businesses. We see it over and over and over again, all day, every day. We've interviewed hundreds of them on this podcast. You can meet thousands of them in our free Facebook group. We've got over 3,000 success posts in our free Facebook group. There's a link at silentjimdotcom to join that group. Go see for yourself. Scroll through the images. You're going to see the posts rolling in, several per week. New students, people hitting their first $1,000 day, people hitting their first $30,000, $50,000 month, that sort of thing. We've got it all over the place. Why? Because we've got the right tools and training. So what are the right tools that I suggest you need? Let's talk through getting started the right way. If you've got about $100 per month to put towards tools and about $500 to $1,000 to put towards some initial inventory, that's all you need to get rolling in this game. That's it. You don't need anything else. Now, if you want to take some shortcuts and speed things up, absolutely. Having a couple thousand more dollars is going to help you along that way, but you don't have to do that. That's optional. But let's talk specifics. A proven Amazon course, the training itself, that costs you about $39 a month currently. That price will be going up very soon. The monthly cost will go up for all new subscribers soon. So lock that in, provenamazoncourse.com. That's your foundational training. That training is going to walk you through getting a tool called Keepa, Keepa. There'll be a link in the show notes today for you on that. Making myself a note so I don't forget. Keepa is very inexpensive. It's about $20 a month, gives you insight into making good inventory decisions. Now, you can automate those inventory making purchasing decisions using a tool called 3P Mercury. That is that tool I talked about Kang earlier, my favorite podcast episode, 754 with Kang. He's been on the show several times since then. That's the tool you can just pour all those ASINs that you're finding, all those products into, and it will tell you which ones to buy. But you don't need that day one. Although many of our new students are starting there. If you've got the budget for it, absolutely you want to get into it day one. Absolutely. So I said about $100 a month. You need $39 a month for your proven Amazon course. You need $20 a month for Keepa. And your Amazon Pro selling account is going to be about $40 a month as well. So there's your $100 a month approximately. If you got a few more dollars, get into 3P Mercury early so you don't have to convert all of your process into software later. To start off using the software that so many of the successful students in our community are using. I mean, you've heard numerous podcast episodes of people now at this point saying how much 3P Mercury has completely automated the entire process, the decision-making workflow, and makes so many of those little pain point challenges just a button click simple. So yeah, if you've got the budget, absolutely. And if you want to go further faster, you want to talk to a coach, give us a shout. I gave you the link already, but silentjim.com/book a call is a great way to get a hold of us. Reach out. We'll talk to you about any of our programs, any of these ideas. Will help map out your future in this business. And if you want to talk about coaching, we'd love to talk to you about working one-on-one with one of the most successful students in our community. We've got about 60 of them that we've recruited as coaches, and they will handhold you through this process. We love our coaching program. We're very proud of it. It's produced so many great stories, but it's not for everyone. You may not be in a position where you're ready to go further faster. You may not have the margin in your life, the time margin, the energy margin, the health margin, right? Your schedule may not allow it. Maybe you're going through a difficult time and you're kind of desperate for money. That's not the time to get a coach. If you're desperate for money, it's hustle time. It's time to get disciplined on your budget and pick up a couple extra side gigs and stack a little cash in the bank. If you don't have $500 to $1,000 that you can put towards a business, it's hustle time. It's side gig time. It's, put the pedal to the metal and do what you can to get out of that life situation. You won't be there forever. A little hustle. There's all kinds of creative ways you can put some money in the bank. But I'm talking more to people who do have margin. That's who our coaching is for. You've got some time, you got some energy, you're ready to take it seriously. You've come to trust us after listening to a few podcast episodes, hanging out in our community, that sort of thing. All right, so those are the basic tools. Anything else that anyone else is out there is pushing on you right now, it can wait. Yes, there's all kinds of other things that you can be doing. I interviewed not too long ago Chris, a coach on our team, and she has a couple dozen different tools. She says, hey, if it saves me a few keystrokes, it saves me a few minutes a week, it's worth it because her time's very valuable. She scaled up a very serious business. Did she start off with all those tools? Absolutely not. Don't get overwhelmed with all the tools. There's just a couple that you need to get started. You need your training, you need Keepa, you need the proven Amazon course, Keepa, you need your Amazon selling account too. Those are the three things that you need. And then add on 3P Mercury if you got the budget for it. And it's going to change your life. It's going to completely automate so many aspects of this. All right. So here we are talking about tools and training. It's hard to do this part without sounding like I'm being self-serving, but I would encourage you to do your homework, look around the landscape, try to find other communities that are just stuffed with successful people raving about the tools and training that they're using. You're just not going to find a lot of that in e-commerce. You just won't. You'll find people who are huge fans of some celebrity that they really like, or huge fans of the idea of the business model that they're trying to make happen. Some YouTube with a bunch of followers and positive comments. But where are the conversations with the hundreds of successful students? That's the bar that I would like you to look for. I'd like you to look for a community, and this is to transition into my final point, a community that's full of people who are doing the business. That means everything from the people who are trying and struggling all the way up to the people who have been through the struggles and are now succeeding. Look for that community. And I'm very proud to report that according to recent voting in the industry, the number one community for Amazon sellers is the one you're now a part of. The people who listen to this podcast, the people in our Facebook group and on our email list. Links to all that at silentjimdotcom. We'd love to welcome you in. Most of what we have to offer is completely free, by the way, completely free. I have people come up to me at events. I've had people walk up to me before I speak on stage, just meeting a few people and shake my hand and go, hey, I just wanted to say thank you. I had one guy specifically say, I'm a little embarrassed, but I have a confession I have to make. And I said, what's that? And he said, I've been listening to your podcast, consuming your content, part of your Facebook group for years and years and years, but I've never paid you a penny. But I've built a beautiful business as a result of the content. Thank you so much. That was his confession. I said, no, that's beautiful. I love that. That's phenomenal. I'll tell that story many, many, many times. And I've had several people say similar things to us over the years. Our content, our free content is amazing. But if you want to go further faster, how about you step into our training or our coaching? So it doesn't take you months and months and months and years to kind of piece it together yourself. We'd love to fly through the process with you, but everything we teach is there for you free. If you take the time to go through the podcasts, the Facebook group, the free content that's scattered around, yeah, you're going to do just fine. You're going to do great. But your odds of making some mistakes does go up because odds are, I gave you that link earlier, the silentjim.com/mistakes. Odds are you're going to stumble into one of those pitfalls. Take that suggestion very seriously to read that over before you get rolling so you don't make any of those classic mistakes. All right. So the right model, the right tools and training, the right community. You do those three the right way, you are on your way to a successful, beautiful business that you can be proud of that opens doors of opportunity consistently. This isn't just about building a business where you sell random items to strangers that you'll never meet. Don't make that mistake of thinking that's what we do here is teach you how to do that. You are going to get into some incredible relationships. You're going to meet some amazing people. You're going to form masterminds. You're going to have other doors of opportunity open for you. Let me give you an example. Let's say you've sold 1,000 transactions on Amazon or 5,000 transactions on Amazon. You're a few months into this, a year into this. You're going to start to notice some of these brands that you're selling, they need some help. They don't really have their acts together on Amazon. It's kind of scattered. They've got some struggles. You can see the signs of it, even though it's a seemingly popular product. Guess what you can do? Reach out to that brand. We teach this as a module inside the Proven Amazon course, by the way. There's some students in our community who do only this model and do really, really well. They'll reach out to those brands and say something like this: hey, noticed you're on Amazon, noticed you're struggling. I can help. All I want is a percentage of the sales, and I can really ramp things up for you. Are you interested in talking more? Many brands would love to have someone reach out to them and help them manage this very difficult landscape that they find themselves trying to navigate by themselves. You can get paid to be a consultant. We call it the PPP model, proven product partnering. That just means that you're partnering up with an existing brand and helping them do better on Amazon because you've developed the skills that make you capable of doing just that. It's a beautiful opportunity that's right at your feet as you wade into this initial business model of helping fill the underserved shelf space in Amazon's hundreds of US warehouses. It's a huge opportunity. We've taught more people how to navigate it than anyone. We are actively engaged in constantly improving our processes to the point where I recorded a podcast episode not too long ago, just a few weeks ago, that laid out the case why I believe right now could arguably be the best time ever in the history of Amazon to jump in as an Amazon reseller. And just to sum up the 2 points I made quickly in that training, one is Amazon has finally begun to clarify its policies and enforce them consistently. There's not a lot of confusing gray area out there. You're seeing less and less of people saying things like, well, that guy over there has been doing it for a long time, so I'm going to do it too. If he hasn't been caught and shut down, well, I'm going to try it too. I won't be caught and shut down either. And then Amazon catches both of them, shuts them down. And what do? They rush to social media to complain about how evil and cruel Amazon is. Well, really, what was going on is Amazon had policies that weren't very clear, and people misinterpreted them and took advantage of them in their favor. And then Amazon finally clarified and started enforcing. So people freaked out. You, as a new seller, you don't have to worry about Amazon retroactively going back to something you did a year ago and saying, yeah, that policy you were violating back then, I think we're going to punish you for it now because we finally clarified and we're kind of going back through our records and we're retroactively punishing sellers. You don't have to worry about that. You're a new seller. You didn't make any of those mistakes. You get the best training. You're part of the best community. You get the best tools, training, the best model. You're not going to make those mistakes. That's one reason why now is a great time. You don't have a bad history full of misinterpreted policies that you made dumb decisions on. Things like bundles and doing them the wrong way and creating multi-packs and ignoring barcode rules. All that's been so clarified now. You're good to go. What's the other advantage you have? The tools we have now are so superior to anything that existed before. And there's a bit of a negative air, the zeitgeist, if you will, about what it is to sell on Amazon has shifted. The Overton window is another phrase I like. The general consensus of what's it mean to be an Amazon reseller? Well, it shifted so far into negative territory that a lot of sellers are now under the impression that, well, yeah, I tried that, didn't work out. It's wide open. We're finding more wide open opportunities on Amazon right now with the tools that we have available to us than we've ever seen before. And the ocean is growing. So eventually, in the next 5 years, 10 years, the pendulum will swing back and people will see this opportunity for what it is. But right now, there's a huge window of opportunity with the tools and the advantages you have, specifically 3P Mercury. It's never been possible as a reseller, past 15 years, to have a tool that you just pour viable products into, and that tool tells you when it makes sense to go buy the products that look the most attractive from your catalog of dozens, hundreds, thousands, or even tens of thousands of products. It's not as hard to do as it sounds. We have training that teaches you how to go find hundreds or even thousands of viable ASINs at a time. You've seen the stories, you've heard them on our podcast, people saying, yeah, I found loads and loads of great ASINs in a single 2-hour research session. Dump them into the tool, 3P Mercury, run a filter. It tells you, hey, here's the 15 that make the most sense right now. You take a look at those 15, pick the ones you want, decide what your budget is for the day, go buy them, send them in. Kang, the guy I mentioned earlier, a $3 million reselling business on Amazon at beautiful profit margins, with the 3P Mercury software that he helped develop. Go listen to episode 754 if you haven't heard it yet. He helped develop this tool. He has one person who helps him with receiving his inventory and one virtual assistant, and they run this complete $3 million business. All he has to do is decide how much money he wants to put into buying the inventory that the tool is telling him it suggests that he buy any given day. That's his main decision that he has to make. Everything else is handled by the tool. Now we're pouring tons of resources. Kang is now full-time working with a programming team on improving that tool every single day. The list of features and benefits that are coming out of 3P Mercury are just every day. You miss a couple days, you miss a whole bunch of new features. Everything from helping you make better inventory decisions to simplifying processes that used to take hours down to just a button click. The resources that are now available to you, the point I'm making, are so much superior to anything that we've had in the past as Amazon sellers. Now is a great time to either get in or get back in the game. All right, so that's the 3 points I wanted to make today. If you get these 3 things right, you're going to do great. You follow the right business model, especially when you're new. You find the right community, transparency, success, a helpful, abundance-minded community, right? Where they embrace newbies. They don't make you feel stupid for asking questions. We pride ourselves on that around here. We know that all of our good leaders are former clueless newbies who are asking all the wrong questions the wrong way, and we helped them out. Every leader on our team who's built a beautiful business, they were there at some point. So we warmly welcome and embrace new sellers. Look for that kind of community. And finally, the right tools, the right training. You get those 3 right, you are on your way. You mess up any of those, and you could find yourself struggling. Most people, I would say the vast majority of people who set out to sell on Amazon don't get any of those 3 right. They don't get one of, they use the wrong tools. They don't find a good community. The training is terrible. They start off in the wrong business model, and then they go complain about how terrible it is to sell on Amazon. Well, because they ignored Jim's big 3. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode today. Thanks for listening. Could you do me a little favor if you found value in this? Would you mind sending a few friends to silentjimdotcom? Another great favor you can do for us is to leave us a review if you're listening on Spotify or iTunes, wherever you're checking us out. Maybe it's on YouTube. A few people do catch us on YouTube, although it's not much to look at most of the time. This is an audio episode primarily, or an audio podcast, I should say, primarily. But we'd love to have a review or some positive comments, some shares. That's how word has spread. That's how this show became the #1 podcast for Amazon sellers. We didn't throw any advertising to make that happen. We've just put out good content, interviewed good people, telling real stories. Thanks for listening today. We'll have more great episodes for you very soon. Hey, thanks for listening to today's episode. Before I let you go, a quick reminder. You want to go to silentjim.com/askcindy to talk to someone about your accounting, bookkeeping, tax planning needs. They're very unique as an e-commerce business owner, and odds are you're having trouble finding someone local who gets it. You're probably paying more in taxes than you should be. Have a conversation with Cindy and her team. Tell them we sent you. Go to silentjim.com/askcindy to get all the details. Thanks for listening. We'll have more great episodes for you very soon.